Chris Rattey here, RadioBDC and Boston.com, 10th day 2 of the Life is Good Festival. I'm joined proudly, Bert, John Jacobs, founders of Life is Good. Gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by and talking to me
Thank you,
today.
Chris. Good to be here.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
And you know, it rained a little bit overnight, a little wet, but did not dampen any spirits whatsoever. The vibes are still happening.
We have
thank
our
you
mom.
for putting me in the good karma area.
Nice. We have our mom on salary, and she has one job: weather for festivals.
That's it.
She screws it
So
up.
don't sweat it.
We fire her in a second.
Also, water is the source of all life. So
That's right.
Drink it in.
Absolutely.
We swim in it. We drink in it.
So just amazing, just what you've got going on here. So let's kick it off. Take me back to 1989 when you first started, and look at what you obviously have going on here. I mean, when you look at this, how does it really make you feel?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is that we didn't build it, you know. People sometimes go, wow, you guys really got lucky with something. We did. I mean, we had 5.5 years of bad ideas, and then we finally had a good one. And after that, really, like all the people that you see here, they built it, you know. We kind of worked together and listened to them, but we kind of stumbled along and made every mistake you could make in business. But the brand concept, the idea that optimism's powerful and people need to celebrate life, was so needed and is so needed that people find ways to help build the business. Yeah. And I think that more and more, that's the way business is becoming in the digital age, is that people are all connected. So if you're inauthentic, they will tear businesses down. And if you're authentic, they'll build it up. And in our case, we might not have had all the answers, but we were authentic, so they built it.
We made every mistake in the book, but the message is powerful enough where people kept gravitating toward it. Even the first festival, about a decade ago, was tiny. We didn't know what we were doing, but people came literally out of the woods up in Maine to go to this festival because they wanted to come toward something positive, come toward the light. And we raised a little bit of money, and thanks to the help of the community, every year we raise a little bit more. Yep. And the message reaches a few more people.
Yeah, I think it's actually gotten easier too, because people say, well, as a business gets bigger, does it get more complicated, more difficult? I mean, simplicity is something that is like foundational at Life is Good. So if it's not simple, we don't do it, right? And I think for us, all that happens is when you grow, people want to partner. People like yourselves, we end up getting resources. People want to join hands, and it's not a matter of, well, what does Life is Good get or what does the other get? It's more like all ships rise.
Yeah. And when you get the pleasure of meeting periodically with the director of Good Vibes, it doesn't hurt a situation. You guys have very excellent job titles as well. Chief Executive Optimist.
Hey.
Chief Creative Optimist.
There you go. So Villanova, graduated in 1987, correct? UMass guy.
UMass, but don't overlook a proud year at Chico State, a very prestigious university up in Northern Cal.
Not a fully credited university.
But before that, okay, before the college years, I mean, obviously growing up together, what was the spark? I mean, was there something that really you two gravitated towards collectively that planted the seed to what has come to be known as, amazing?
I think we were very lucky to grow up in a house where there was an optimistic perspective. It was totally chaotic. There was 8 people, tiny house. But our mother in particular just chose to see the good in everything. And as simple as it sounds, Bert and I talk about it a lot. At the dinner table every night, she'd look around at all our kids and say, tell me something good that happened today. Excellent. And as simple as that sounds, it changes the room, you know, and it helped us focus on what's right with the world. And it's a hell of a way to look at the world, no matter what's going on, whether it's wartime, whether the economy is in the tank, no matter what. People need something positive to gravitate toward, and I think we learned that in the house from Joan and Al, our parents. You know.
That's excellent. And I mean, something like today and Playmakers, you know? I mean, you guys were on stage last night introing Hall & Oates, and you read that letter, which was very, very powerful. And I imagine that's one of just so many that you get. And so talk about the Playmakers, how that sort of started. I mean, obviously you wanted to raise money, but how that came to be and how you feel about it today.
Yeah, I mean, really, people say, did you always set out to have a foundation and do charitable work and integrated model and all those things? Absolutely not. We set out to avoid getting a job. And, you know, we just started hawking T-shirts. I mean, people want to hear that we had the whole thing figured out or something. We absolutely didn't. And what happened was we started getting letters like the one we read from those two boys last night, and we didn't know what to do with it for a long time. We just sort of put those aside and said, why are these people writing about these really serious things? Because we were just having some fun, you know, trying to make a living. And then it dawned on us that those are the people that see that life is good the most, the ones who face the most difficult challenges. And so we just decided rather than putting money into advertising, we'd start working with 501c3s and put the money there. And we supported a lot of different 501c3s, and Playmakers just sort of popped up. It used to be called Project Joy, and started by a local guy, Steve Gross. And it really just, it became the one that connected with Life is Good even better than others, because you're dealing with children that face severe trauma, violence, poverty, and illnesses like cancer. And facing that, Playmakers focuses on the social and emotional wellness, which is what our brand does. So we just saw this immediate connection. The first big project we did was we trained all the child care providers in the Mississippi Delta, poorest district in America by far after Hurricane Katrina. And we saw what the work that they did, it saved those kids' lives. So it gives me the chills thinking about it today. We looked at it and said, let's just invest more. And eventually we merged Playmakers in with the Life is Good Kids Foundation. So now we actually do the social work. We continue to work with lots of different nonprofits, but we do it by training their staff in what was developed through Project Joy.
Teaching the teachers. We realized early on that we worked directly with the kids, but the ripples would grow much wider and faster if we worked with child care providers. They're the real heroes, the teachers, the counselors that are working every day, that devote their whole life to helping kids.
People that work in orphanages, homeless shelters, anywhere where there's kids that look like they don't have much of a chance. And they can have a chance if they have the right child care providers.
And today over 3,500 Playmakers have been trained, and over 200,000 kids have been positively impacted by Playmakers, and we're just getting started.
And that's and you brought up the figure of $11 million last night on stage, correct? Is that overall what's been raised through the years for this festival, or is there more as well on top of it?
Pretty much through the festival, but we now have a program where 10% of all profitability from anything the company does goes directly to Playmakers. So that's where we've really integrated it. So what we used to do is designate certain products and say this one's for charity and that one's for charity. We realized we didn't want to put that choice on the consumer. Instead, anytime someone does business with Life is Good, they're helping kids.
That way, internally, if you work at Life is Good, whether you're drawing a graphic or packing a box, you know you're helping kids. And as Bert said, externally, if you're a consumer, you're buying any kind of interaction with Life is Good. If you're doing business with us, you're helping kids.
That's fantastic. So I want you each to tell me what it's like to be able to go through this and build something as powerful as this with your brother, and then give me something good when you were young. You know, a scrap, something good.
Well, Chris, there never was any of those. We just eat ice cream sundaes together.
Perfect.
We'd often feed each other by plastic spoon. No, you know, people do ask about working with family, and we fight almost every day over details of the business, but as long as you're aligned on the positive purpose.
I haven't had a fist fight in probably 2 years.
2 years?
We're due. We're definitely due.
Definitely due.
Anyway.
We got the cameras. Roll. I'll be the judge.
Let's see. Growing up, I don't think Bert just looked up to me a lot in terms of basketball, baseball, and my general eloquence. And but he's come along. He's doing well for himself.
I would say I would say that we tortured John when he was a kid because he had red hair. We referred to him as a non-citizen.
True story. True story.
He managed to get through it. You know, I mean, somehow it built character.
If you have red hair and you get past the age of 10, you're a strong-willed individual.
Sure thing. Competitive. I mean, how competitive are you by nature with each other? I mean, you guys joke a lot on stage last night as well. You're throwing him some digs on the fly. I mean, is it an ultra competitive nature with you guys?
No, I think we realized early on that, like, well, we are competitive, you know, and we'll compete here and there, but I think we realized early on that it's not about us. It really isn't. It's fun. America loves a bootstrapping story, and they love guys that started sleeping in a truck or a van and all that. And we did those things, but there's millions of bootstrapping stories out there. And so we don't want to make the focus about us, so we're not too competitive about that. It's always been about the receivers of the message, and the most interesting stories come from these people, not from us. The way we look at it, we're just kind of a vehicle for it, and We have no interest. You know, you asked about what it's like and building to this point. It feels very cool that Life is Good right now. It very much feels like a startup.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of new young employees. We've got a nice vibe going. We have no interest in selling the business. We have no interest in going public. We feel like we're just getting out of first gear. So it's fun to look at where it's come today.
Yeah.
It's more fun to look at where it's going. We think we can become a global, multi-billion-dollar lifestyle brand that integrates the nonprofit and saves kids' lives everywhere in the world.
Sure.
And that's kind of our little dream, you know. That's like taking our wiffle ball team to the World Series.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what's so great with working with your team. I've had the pleasure of working with James and your crew for a while. Quarterly, always getting together, you know, once every few months, and just brainstorming, come up with the biggest ideas. You know what I mean? And but really, the message that you and what you're stating now is, it's we're not the T-shirt guys anymore, right? Like, this is a media global company that has a message. Just so happens the message is all good vibes and makes you feel good, right?
If the positive purpose, if the positive purpose and the message are authentic, then it gives you permission to go into other businesses. And our customers have told us, yeah, we love the message on a T-shirt, but if you want to deliver books to us or greeting cards or coffee, absolutely yes, because we believe in what you're doing. We know it's authentic, and we know 10% at this point of all profits is going to kids. So absolutely grow your business and explore these new adventures.
The reality is that if we look back, we never really entered the clothing business. We never really had, I mean, look at us. We're not exactly fashionistas, right? So it's like we didn't go into it saying we love apparel, we want to go make clothing. We really could care less about clothing. You know, John doesn't always like it when I say that.
I dream of walking the runway someday, but it just hasn't panned out.
But it's like clothing, and T-shirts in particular, has been a vehicle for the message. Yeah. And there's lots of other vehicles for the message. So, you know, we just launched gourmet coffee with Smuckers, who's the largest producer of coffee in America. So that's a lot of touch points out there that can raise awareness for kids, that can grow profitability, that can donate money, etc. They're a great partner of the event. We just launched a program with Hallmark. So everything we've ever put on a T-shirt will now be a greeting card company. Sure. You know, that's a $5 billion global leader in greeting cards. That's resource, and we got a partner. Yeah. So we're looking for other big partners. We just launched a pet products line. And I think, you know, it took us 20 years to get dangerous in one industry, and we know how to make T-shirts now, right? Hopefully, right? So we're not interested in taking another 10 or 20 years to learn how to lead in another industry. Instead, let's partner with greats there. If we know what our brand stands for and we stick to our values, then we can partner with the right people that you find chemistry. So we're really ambitious about where we're going to go. We want to make Life is Good automobiles. We want to make, you know, you name it. We want to have Life is Good travel packages. As long as it celebrates life and integrates that it's going to help children and save kids' lives in some cases, we're in.
Tremendous. Well, Bert and John, thank you so much for stopping by and talking with us. I look forward to working with you guys, you know, in the future, and thanks for having us. And Chris Rattey signing out from the RadioBDC and Boston.com tent. Stick with us all day as we'll have artists stopping by doing some more interviews, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Cool.